we've achieved quite a lot. In the 90s, we had to make everything from scratch, and look at us now. So, I don't really like to look back, so let's use this opportunity and talk about future. I recently came across an inspiring article by Mr. Vivek Wadhwa of Stanford University. Mr. Wadhwa expects that very soon Tesla electric cars will drive by themselves using Google software. It will absolutely transform the transportation in the cities as we know it. And you're probably thinking now, what has Tesla car got to do with language schools? You're right, nothing. But it was interesting. However, there were other points in Mr. Wadhwa's article which were equally interesting and very much to the point to our topic, very relevant to our topic. Google Fiber. Mr. Wadhwa talked a lot about Google. Google Fiber is going to provide our homes with 1,000 gigabit internet homes. Google Loon is a project about Wi-Fi Google balloons, which will provide us with connectivity at any spot, literally. And I'm sure you've seen this, Google Glass. It will provide us with unique 3D experiences while we are browsing the World Wide Web, instantly recording, sharing, live messaging. So these are the game changers. The game has changed. And I know you're going to tell me the game has been changing all the time, but never so dramatically and never so rapidly. What does that mean for our business? It means that the science fiction of yesterday, as we imagined it, is happening now. So I think you will agree with me that future is now. Now, what does that mean for us, for our business? It's time to think and rethink. And the phrase, thinking out of the box, has never rung so true. Why? Because with all the changes that have been happening around us, things, meaning our average student and our average classrooms, have changed. And sitting in the box, feeling comfortable and smug and holding on to the walls is not going to help. In a recent webinar by our colleague, Laurie Burris, there were several points that were taken out as significantly changed. First of them is the focus of education, which is shifting from what a student needs to know to what a student hopes to achieve. Next, think about our modern student. They have all got one native language, and it's digital language. They're all digital natives. They're immersed in technology. So it's logical that content is also moving. It's moving away from the textbooks towards all those resources that are readily available for us in the cloud. And most liberating to me, at least, was that barriers of space and time have also been broken, meaning that a teacher from Subotica, for instance, can have a class of students dispersed all around Serbia, near Sparac, in Kraljevo, Belgrade. Why not? Finally. So, now that we have rethought these things, what's the next step? These game changers, they call for action, and not just cosmetic action. They need, we need to reinvent our traditional learning process. And we all know who's the queen of reinvention. Now, we may like her or not, but she's been the supreme queen of pop for the past 30 years through reinventing herself. So I believe you'll agree with me that there is a tip or two we can learn from this old gal. So, our teachers in Serbia have always been very creative. Just think back at the 90s. We had to make everything from scratch. So I suggest we unlock these creative powers by using technology. And I know the usual excuse, technology is expensive, it's not affordable, we're poor, it's just for the privileged few. I don't think this excuse stands, not anymore. Just think of the number of smartphones being sold in Serbia. So, the first thing that comes into mind is introducing blended learning environment, which means that at least part of the learning process is done online. And I believe most of you have already introduced this part. Imagine your average student. What kind of a response, what motivation and power to retain information would you get from them if you, for instance, supplement your textbooks? Why not video tutorials? They could be made by your teachers, by fellow students, or even as a school project. And while you're, I'm sure you're going to agree with me that a blended learning environment, these all things, could be only touched at now, and they're the topic for a whole new conference in itself. So while you're discovering all these new possibilities, it's equally important to share. And I think that platform is something we're going to talk about in more details later on. I will leave you with this, but before that, please let me know what you think. Thank you.